Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the second issue of Warhammer 40k Combat Patrol. Now, as per usual with all the videos on this channel, if you do like them, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and of course drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys, it goes a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 2, obviously. So this is the third week of Combat Patrol, so obviously there was a 2-week break between issue 1 and issue 2. This issue for me is a little bit late because I've been on holiday, so it's just trying to play catch up. So obviously this week's issue next week should be on Wednesday. Obviously there are some stock issues according to Hatchet, so some places may struggle for stock, so just try where you need to buy them from. If you can't get it in your local shops or anything like that, obviously try places like the Hatchet Partworks website, try Forbidden Planet. Other third-party websites can sometimes sell them, so definitely worth shopping around. Now, this week we get 3 minis. So we get the 3 Von Ryan's Leapers, part of the Tyranids range, part of the newer Tyranids range as well, which are pretty damn cool, and they're nifty, aren't they? They're quite horrible looking, monstrous, and they look pretty damn good. So obviously, if you're going to be going through Tyranids and stuff like that, a lot of the Tyranids and the Tyranid range you can see and fight against in the new good old Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 game that came out just over a week ago. I'm not gonna lie, I've been playing it. I haven't played it for a week because I've been on holiday, but it's a fantastic game. Definitely well worth getting if you've got a PS5, Series X, or a very good PC. Definitely pick it up. Pick it up from somewhere like CD Keys, far cheaper. And yeah, it's a great game. It's such a chaotically brilliant game with some very, very good visuals. So definitely worth looking into. And you get to fight against Tyranids in that game, which is really cool, and it's really, really good fun. So I am actually looking forward to getting building with these guys, because I do like the Tyranids. I know there's something about them that I do really, really enjoy. I love the chaotic, horrible, monstrous nature of the Tyranids, I think, more than anything, which is pretty damn cool. Going into this week's issue though, first off, we are actually greeted by the how to build section. So we're going straight into how it builds, which is pretty cool. So you get the how to build Von Ryan's Leapers. Obviously there are 3 Leapers in here, so it's a case of going through them step by step, get them built, and away you go. But that will look pretty damn cool. We also get a guide about painting, so it's all to do with your base coats, shades and highlights. So if you are new to Warhammer 40k, this is perfect for you. So this teaches you everything you need. So base coats are your foundation paints, which you need to kind of get going and get the right colour scheme in place. So things like your Macragge Blue, your Retributor Armour, Lead Belcher and things like that are your base colours. Your shades, so you'll have things like Norn Oil, you'll have say Carroburg Crimson and things like that, and other colours. Agrax Earthshade will be another one, which dull down your mini, but they sit in recesses, leaving darker bits in things like plate armour and stuff like that, and even dulling metal. So where that metal's quite bright, you dull it right down with good old Norn Oil, something like that. Makes it look a lot better, makes it look a bit grimier, a bit grubbier, and like it's been used, and not like it's just a bland, flat colour. And then highlights. So highlights you use on things like that. So you edge highlight in areas. So you highlight the edges, bring colour back to your mini. So you kind of like where the areas of items where the light would hit it is what you want to be doing, and what you want to be bringing back to life and giving it a bit more kind of colour, fleshing it out a little bit, and it'll look fantastic, I'm absolutely sure of it. And yeah, good stuff. So obviously that's your paint guide. Over the issues you will go through more of it depending on the minis, and it'll teach us how we go all along. So over time we will get more minis kind of like this. So we will get things like the good old Chaos Sorcerer, I think it is, I can't even remember what it is, Dark Apostle, that's one. We'll get an Eldari, we'll get Gene Stealers, we'll get Leagues of Votann as well, which are a little bit smaller. It's a little bit more of a challenge to paint if you're kind of have poor eyesight or anything, but all of them really, really good. So we're going to have quite a good range of minis to paint over the course of this 90 issue run, which will be really good fun. So not only are you going to get your normal standard Space Marines, which are fairly basic in terms of their colouring, and over time we'll get more and more challenging, which will be really good fun. And every issue there will be painting guides that will teach us more of how to paint and how to where to go about things as well, which will be good fun. Going forward though, obviously we get a read section, we get more information about the Imperium. So obviously the Imperium, man, is the greatest and most powerful empire humanity has ever known. Through zealotry and fervent belief, it claims dominion over millions of worlds. So in the 41st millennium, the Emperor, who is an immortal, who has been around for a very, very, very long time, and there's lots of speculation of who the Emperor has been in the past and stuff like that, steps forward, takes over mankind, and leads them into this new age of technology. He introduces the Primarchs and the Space Marines, the Adeptus Astartes, and kind of they push into space. And then Horus Heresy happens. Anyway, so pretty damn cool. You get a bit more information about the Defenders of Humanity. So they are, of course, the elite fighting force is the Space Marines. They hold the line against hordes of Tyranids, aliens, and Xenos, and much, much more. There is the Astra Militarum, which is the regular humans of the 41st millennium, who are not really augmented. You get the odd one who has maybe a kind of a prosthetic armor or something like that, and they are your standard humans. They're a little bit smaller than Space Marines and such like. You have the Adeptus Sororitas, the warrior nuns essentially of the 41st millennium. Very, very kind of religious iconography with them, and they are a little bit different and pretty damn cool, and one of my favourite armies. Then you have the cybernetic warriors of the Adeptus Mechanicus, who praise the Omnissiah and the Machine God, and they rely a lot more on machinery and stuff like that, and they like finding old technology that maybe have lost to the Void and bringing it back and utilising it and retrofitting it to what they can. And that's kind of their deal. So, pretty cool stuff. So if you picked up Imperium magazine, you got all Adeptus Sororitas, you got Space Marines, and you got Adeptus Mechanicus. This time round, in this magazine's run, we obviously get the Space Marines, we get some good old Astra Militarum, but we do not get Sororitas and we do not get Mechanicus. So, we do get other stuff instead, obviously because we get loads of combat patrols, which is pretty damn cool. Then we move on, we have a Vanguard Swarm, so all to do with swarms. So the Tyranids are a swarm species, so they utilise a lot of units to conquer. So they go in, we're headlong, they devour everything, they destroy everything, and that is their way of doing it. So you would see hundreds of them. So if, for instance, you're playing Space Marine 2 at the moment, you will have seen there are thousands of good old Tyranids that swarm towards you in certain sections of the game, and you'll face hundreds of them. And that's generally how they work. They're pretty cool, they're pretty interesting, and they generally send out a kind of a small fighting force first, which is the pre-invasion, which can include things like Gene Stealers, which can kind of adapt and such like as they go. They will use ambush tactics at times, and much, much more. So pretty damn cool. They are really, really good fun, and a little bit more interesting. Then you have the actual invasion swarms themselves. So different hive fleets will have different colorings and different tactics. So some will utilize absolute masses of numbers. Some will use kind of your more flyers and stuff like that. Some will use things like gargoyles, your good old carnifexes and such like that over time. So they will utilize a lot of different monstrous kind of Xenos alien races to push through and kind of achieve their goal, which is to devour everything in sight. So they're pretty cool. And their main fighting forces, so kind of the bulk of their armies, will be made up from things like Termagants and Hormagaunts as well. Which Hormagaunts are melee fighting, so they just basically, they have these bladed arms and they go in. The termagants actually have these biological weapons, which are pretty interesting, pretty different. So, very, really cool, very, really good fun, and it's going to be good fun to utilise these guys as well. Then we move on. Obviously, we're going to get loads of pages all to do with our different units. So, obviously, we get the Von Ryan's Leapers. So, Von Ryan Leapers are stealthy vanguard organisms, but so gory havoc behind enemy lines. Blur when I can speak. Developed as infiltrators or left in hidden locations like living landmines. Von Ryan's Leapers remain eerily still until the moment of the kill. When their prey is close, they explode into action in a storm of bladed claws. Which, as you can see, they do have multiple bladed claws, which is, deadly. So obviously you can do your usual, you can give them a name, so you can you roll a d6, and if it's a 1 or a 2, they become the invisible terror. They could be things in the walls, or they could be the whispering ones in this one, or you can name them whatever you want, really. You can name them, I don't know, Tom, Dick and Harry if you really, really wanted to. Who knows, it's up to you at the end of the day. And obviously you get your data sheet as well. So obviously they don't have a lot of abilities or anything like that. They have a pouncing leap. They only really have melee weapons, which is their talons. And yeah, they're pretty cool though. They are very, very, very interesting to utilise. Then we move on, we get more information about all the Tyranid units as well and how to utilise naming tables and such like that. Generally, this picture here is pretty much everything we're going to get as well. So you have Ripper Swarms in there, you have Termagants, you have the good old Winged Tyranid Prime, which we already have. We have our Barb Gaunts, we have our Psychophage, and Von Ryan Leapers as well there. The only thing it's not including is the extra mini that we're going to get, which is pretty damn cool, but really, really good stuff. So you get a bit more about that, and you get naming tables as well, so you can name them how you want to go about doing it, if you really, really want to. Then we get our play section. So Predator and Prey. So obviously this is going to be a very one-sided fight. So with this mission, if you're playing through it, you will have your Space Marine Captain in Terminator armor, which obviously we had in the first issue, going up against the 3 Von Ryan's Leapers. It is a very, very face-to-face confrontational kind of fight. Very straightforward. It's all about teaching you how to play the game, which is the main thing. Now, I will admit I'm not a 40k player, and I will play through these over time, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we go about that. But otherwise, it's walking you through how to play battle and how to do your turns and action your turns. Roll in with the dice that you got with the first issue and such like, and away you go. So pretty damn straightforward. Going forward though, we do get some wound counters as well, so you can utilise these if you wanted to. So if you are going to utilise these, personally I recommend getting these cut out, mount them on cardboard, cut them again, so they're kind of a little bit more sturdy. And obviously we get an image of everything we're going to get. So obviously we do get the Parasite of Mortek, I think that one is, if we're right. Mortrex, I don't know, I can't remember its name properly. Obviously we get a lot of information about what we're getting. So we have things like the Death Copters, we have our girl Astra Militarum at the top, we have 2 different Chaos Space Marines, essentially. So we have the Chaos Space Marines and we have the World Eaters. We have Gene Stealers, we have Lees of Votan, we have Eldari. We have a lot of really good stuff to look forward to with this magazine's run. And yeah, we also have a paint range as well, which these are going to be all the basic paints that you're going to want to use to paint up these minis. It's fairly straightforward. It's the colours that you are going to want and need. If you've collected the other magazines, you will have most of these colours already, or have used most of these colours already at least. And we will get some extra brushes. So we do get a basic brush with first set of paint, which is rubbish in my opinion. It's one of the worst brushes ever. We will also get a couple of white handled detail brush and a dry brush as well. And we also get a texture spreader as well, because we do get a texture paint in there as well, which is Astro Granite, which is to kind of give us that kind of bobbly texture at the bottom of the base. and stuff like that, which you can paint over if you wanted to. Moving on though, so issue 3, we're going to get some kind of terrain cards. We're going to get Infernus Marines as well. So Infernus Marines are flamethrower wielding, obviously, and they will they're kind of there to burn out the enemy and such like that. Really, really cool, pretty damn nifty unit as well. So not bad. Issue 4 is our first paint issue. So this is 3 paints and a brush. So we get the normal standard starter brush. Terrible brush, not very good. But if you're going to get into the hobby, this is a decent brush to start with. They're not too bad. It's just obviously if you paint it regularly, they're not the best brushes. Which is the downside. Colour wise though, we get Macragge Blue, which is for your Ultramarines. We get Baraknar Burgundy and Wraithbone. So the idea, I'm guessing, with this is obviously Wraithbone and Baraknar Burgundy are for your Tyranids. So Wraithbone as a base coat, and then Baraknar Burgundy over all things like the carapaces and stuff like that, which isn't a bad shout really. It does work very, very well. So pretty good. Now, that is that for this issue. Over time with this channel, there are going to be some slight changes. Just before I go, so we're going to try some other things. We're going to go down some routes of some other hobbies that I personally really enjoy. There will be some surprises along the way as well with this, and we're just going to try and expand a few things. So a few things are going to be tested. Let me know if you enjoy them, but if not, every week Combat Patrol will be on the channel, so do not worry, we're not giving up on Warhammer. We're just expanding our horizons and going down some of the other nerdy hobbies that I enjoy, so why not? Anyway, that is more than enough from me. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I will see you hopefully on Wednesday, all being well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye now.